I really liked it.
Baby, I like it, the way you move on the floor. Oh yes, I like it, I like it.
I don't know what attracted me. It could have been the 6'2" frame, the bright blue eyes, the blonde mullet coif. I was smitten. I just graduated from university, got my first full-time job. Life was good. I thought I'd meet someone in university, you know, a doctor, a lawyer, someone with a big trust fund, you know. That didn't happen. Oh, when I met Kelly, I didn't care what he did for a living. When we got into his car later that night, and he started it with a screwdriver, I thought it was adorable. I didn't care what he did for a living. I found out he was a drummer, a musician, a struggling one at that. A little more than his drum set in the trunk of his car. It was glorious. A year and a half later, we got married. It was a special day, July 11th, 1987. Special because 30 years before that, my parents were married on that very day. Now, it almost didn't happen for my parents. You see, my Ukrainian grandmother thought men were basically low-down drunkards. And good Ukrainian girls should just stay at home with their mothers for the rest of their life. Of course, she warmed up to my dad, who was that kind of guy. For us kids, he was just the epitome of dadness, you know. He taught us everything important about responsibility, hard work, how to pee over the side of the boat when you're fishing. All those important things. That was wonderful. 2 days before I was about to leave for college, I woke up to my mother's screams. Something was wrong. Hours of mayhem ensued. You see, we lived in a really small northern community in Manitoba, and the ambulance was frozen. Dad was gone. It's one of those moments, you know, in life where you know nothing will be the same. I took my dad for granted. I thought he lived forever. I swore that day I would never take anyone for granted again.
Well, you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love him when you let him go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love him when you let him go. And you let him go.
Oh, I didn't take Kelly for granted, let me tell you, it was smoking. Just the sight of him made me want to drop my drawers, you know what I'm saying? It was so much fun, we couldn't get enough of each other. It was glorious. You remember what that's like, don't you? That new love. When you know your cells are just bubbling in joy. You look so good, right? There's a reason you look so good. All that beautiful chemical running through your body. I was one of those most annoying people. I was just so happy all the time. I'd wave to strangers in the street. It was wonderful. How about for you? Who does that for you? You have an early love, but I bet you there's someone right now even who does that for you. Just the thought of that person makes your cells bubble with joy. Could be a spouse, could be a child, maybe even a pet. I just want to invite you just for a moment, just to close your eyes and bring that person into your mind. Just really see that person, really hear them, feel them, smell them, taste them, where that's appropriate, of course. Just hold it there for just a moment. And now, I'd like you to touch yourself. Now let me explain. I'd like you to find a part of your body that you can easily access in public. Now for me, I choose my wrist. It's easy to access in public. It's also socially acceptable to touch in public. Find a part of your body and just apply a little bit of pressure, just for a few seconds right now, while you have that good chemical still in your blood. Just apply a little bit of pressure right now. You see, we're building an anchor point, a physical anchor point. I like to call a positivity point. You have moments of positive, of joy, of bubbling cells every day, hundreds of them. You probably walk past a lot of them, or you certainly don't integrate them. So here's something you can do, certainly at this convention, but I hope every day when you experience that, touch yourself in your anchor point. This will become a resource for you when you need it, when you don't have positive, when you don't have bubbling cells. Your body will remember. And you already have anchor points in your life. You know that you can hear Tom Cochran's Life is a Highway, and you're back in that club at 99, right? Okay, that might be me. Or you can smell apple pie, and boom, you're back in your grandma's kitchen, right? You already have anchor points. This is a physical anchor point around positivity.
I touch myself, I want you to rush me. I touch myself, I want you to heal me.
We got in the habit of leaving each other notes. It started when we were dating, cute notes like this one. Little fun things we'd leave for each other on the kitchen table. And something like this would be followed with something like this. Try to have a little humor. It's really hard to find something to rhyme with Kelly, just so you know. I'll pick up dinner. Yes, it's interesting how everything could become code for let's make out. So one of us would say, oh, I was thinking of making dinner. And the other one might say, well, I thought you could help me fold laundry. The best was when one of us would say, hey, let's go walk the dog. You knew it was going to be fun because, well, we didn't have a dog. One day, 8 months into our marriage, I walked in the door and there was a note on the kitchen table in the usual spot. I pranced over to read it. I was sure I'd missed something. I looked under the table, I thought Kelly would jump out from somewhere and say it was a joke. I searched our apartment. It was small. It didn't take long. It was deadly quiet. I sat. I could hear the sounds in the hallway outside, keys. I was just praying one of them would come in our door. As night set in, I knew I had to phone someone. I phoned Kelly's brother. He lived in Calgary too. He didn't know anything. He said, let's try hospitals, let's try the police. We did. I called my family. My sister just said, I'm on my way. I sat all night frozen, waiting. Finally in the morning, I thought I have to phone into work. What am I going to say? I'll call in sick, that's what I'll do. Oh, I'm going to be so mad at Kelly. I have perfect attendance. I've always had perfect attendance. I have a scrapbook of perfect attendance awards. I'm going to be so mad at him that I have to call in sick. No, I'm not going to be mad at him. I'm just going to hug him. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to hug him. I remember looking out the window and people were just getting on with their lives. I couldn't believe that people were getting on with their lives when ours seemed to have stopped.
How can the world keep on moving? You're not here. You're not here. You're not here.
My sister arrived that night. She had the same questions everyone else asked me. What did you know about drugs? Was he behaving strangely? Did you have a fight? Was anyone else around that you didn't know? I had no answers. Well, there must be some clue, Deri, my sister said, so she tore our apartment apart. She came out of one room with a notebook that she found in Kelly's things. And at the back of the notebook, she found this list. Airline, car, hotel, booze, go out with a bang.
I'm going out with a bang. I'm going out with a bang. I'm going out with a bang.
He wouldn't write, go out with a bang. He hated guns. He wouldn't write that. He told me when we were dating about how his dad took he and his brothers fishing and hunting, and just the smell, the feel, the sound of a gun. He wouldn't write that. It made no sense. The next day, a police officer came over and took a missing persons report. He said, Kelly's an adult. He has a right to disappear if he wants to. Okay. We just want to know if he's okay. Finally, on day 7, my sister said, Deri, you have to go out. You see, I wouldn't leave the phone. She ran out and got me an answering machine. We went out for a little bit. When we came back, the light was blinking. The message was, Desi, it's Lorna. Call me. Lorna was Kelly's sister-in-law. Desi dialed the number. I sat down as I watched her listening. And when her eye met mine, I knew.
Little bits and pieces fall into the corners, spots of broken places, lined up in an order. Lately I've been thinking about making changes. It's been on my mind for some time and I'm anxious. I'm going out with a bang. I'm going out with a bang. I'm going out with a bang.
My sister took me to the emergency room. I got some sleeping pills. I took a couple with a few shots of vodka.
I have become uncomfortably numb.
The next day, the police officer came over. He asked me to go for a ride. He said, you know, sometimes when there's a suicide, it can lead to other suicides in a family. He asked me if I was suicidal. I said no. I didn't know what I was, but I was pretty sure I wasn't that. When he brought me back to my apartment, he saw the pills on the counter. He said, pick those up and follow me. We went into the bathroom. Dump the pills, he said. Don't get addicted to those. You might take too many. I've seen it happen. You don't want to feel what you're feeling, Deri, but you need to feel it. You're going to be okay. So grateful for that police officer. I knew him for minutes, and yet he changed the course of my life. I often wonder what would have happened if I kept taking sleeping pills followed by vodka shots. I'll bet you have someone like that in your life. Someone who said just the right thing at just the right time for you. This is my anchor point for gratitude for those people. What I also know, looking around this room, is you've all been that for someone as well. And I'm grateful for you for that. See, I do think it's important that we touch ourselves. And I think it's important that we touch other people. So I'd like you to find a body part on the person beside you that you can easily access in public. I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. Don't do that. That would be bad. I mean, it'd be fun, but it'd be wrong somehow. But you know what? We don't have to touch people to touch people, do we? We just have to be there. We just have to see people. We just have to hear people. So today, throughout this convention and tomorrow, tell people those stories of who touched you. And listen as they tell you their stories. The funeral was a blur. I remember the funeral director asking if we wanted a private family room. I said yes, I couldn't bear to see people. What was actually more true is I couldn't bear people to see me. I knew what they were saying. He killed himself. How could she not know? How can you live with someone and not know? What's wrong with her? What's wrong with him?
We learned here's love tastes bitter when it's gone. Past yourself, forget the light, things look dirty when it's on. Funny how it comes to pass and all the good slips away, and there's no one around, you can't remember being good to you. Shame shouldn't try you, couldn't step by you and open up for shame. Shame, shame.
So my family threw me in the back seat of the car and took me back to Manitoba. I was glad to go. Of course, I didn't realize at the time there was a secret passenger on board.
Shame shouldn't try you, couldn't step by you and open up more. Shame, shame, shame.
I scoured bookstores, tried to find anything I could. On suicide, there wasn't a lot in those days. I found this book, it's still on my bookshelf today. Why Am I Afraid to Tell You Who I Am? Well, I thought Kelly was afraid. I wasn't going to be afraid. I knew I needed help. I needed to talk to someone. I was lucky to get a job with an organization that had an employee assistance program. It was so hard for me to make that call. You see, I grew up in a pick yourself up and dust yourself off kind of family. You know what I'm saying? A suck it up kind of family. In fact, I remember this one time, fishing, we were getting ready to go fishing, my dad's getting the boat ready, all us kids were running along the shoreline, and there was a sinkhole, and I fell in the sinkhole. And that's not good when you're a kid, right? So all of a sudden, there's bugs and shmee in there. My dad comes, lifts his hand in, yanks me out, takes me over to the lake, rinses me off, plunks me in the boat, and he goes, "You're good, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Dad." I'm like 4. Good. So it was so hard for me to make that call. I knew I had to. I finally did, and I whispered in the phone as I made it, and I made sure I made my appointment for the very end of the day so that no one would see me or the chances were slim. I bought a trench coat and I made my way over to my appointment. Yeah, she came. I let her out. I don't remember anything Dr. Marie said to me. But what I do remember from that experience is I started to realize that the voices I was hearing were in my own head. I started to realize that I owned her. And I started to realize that unpacking what I was feeling was the pathway to my healing.
I need a healing feeling. I need a healing feeling.
I met someone. I thought he deserved a whole person. And I wasn't going to keep anything back. I'm pretty sure I laid it all out on the first date. It's a wonder he stuck around. I told him this is my core value. No secrets. I really think in 22 years of marriage, we have no secrets. Okay, there might have been that one shopping trip to Montreal in 2010, but other than that, no secrets. 9 months after we were married, Randy and I, we welcomed our daughter, Allie. Oh, what a feeling. My first thought, when I looked at her, well, my first thought was, thank goodness that part's over. And my next thought was, oh, am I going to have to tell her? Yes, transparency, I'm going to tell her, yes. Well, those 11 years flew, and then she had an 8-year-old brother. I'd look at them all the time. I'd be like, look at their cute faces. You know, how do I tell them? I don't want them to know that that happens to people, that it's even possible in this world. I knew I had to tell them, and I did. And the whole night that I told them, or the whole time that I told them, Allie said nothing. She just had her hand on my arm, and her eyes locked on me. Finally, after I was done, she just said 4 words. Are you okay, Mom? That's it. She just cared about me. She wasn't judging me. Max wasn't judging me. Randy wasn't judging me. It appeared there was still just one person judging me. I think it was that night that I said goodbye to shame. And a hand on my arm continues to be an anchor point for caring for me. What part of you can you touch? What story can you share that will help you to see, feel, touch, and heal yourself and others?
See me, feel me, touch me, heal me.
You see, I think that all emotion serves. Yep, even negative emotion. In fact, I think it's out of the darkness that true beauty comes. Certainly is the source of new life. I think without that other side, we don't really embrace what's possible. We don't really experience full joy. And when you learn to touch yourself, you can grow that positive so it overtakes any of the negative. There's always going to be darkness. We can manage what happens with that darkness. My beautiful dancer, Jessica, I know you all thought it was me. I know. Turned 27 this year. My beautiful and amazing musical accompanist, Carrie, Juno Award winner. I met when she was 27. Kelly died just after his 27th birthday. And that was exactly 27 years ago. I don't know what it all means, except I think we were supposed to be here with you. You've all heard of the 27 Club, you know, Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin and Kurt Cobain and Amy Winehouse, they're all members. That's a 27 club about death. Well, Jessica and Carrie and I want to start a 27 club about life, about love, about compassion, about caring, and about hope. We hope you'll join us.
What a feeling means believing. I can have it all and I'm dancing for my life. Take your passion and make it happen. Pictures come alive, you can dance right through your life. What a feeling.
Isn't it interesting when you operate from your passion, how the universe just gives you what you need? I was walking down the streets of Ottawa this summer, thinking of you. Wandered into a bookstore and this book practically flung itself at me. Forgive me. Some of Kelly's last words to me. The book's about a high school student named Leonard Peacock. It's his 18th birthday, and that day he's planning to kill his ex-best friend and himself. The only person who sees Leonard is one of his teachers, who he calls Herr Silverman. And the only reason Herr Silverman can see Leonard is because he's in touch with his own story. He invites Leonard to write letters from the future to himself, from his future spouse, his future child. Leonard does. I'm going to close with a letter from the future that I've written to you. Dear, insert your name. I'm so happy that you were at the CAPS convention in 2015. I believe you were supposed to be there. I met someone today who heard you speak. He said he was deeply impacted by what you shared. He felt you were speaking right to him. After hearing you, he's decided to start sharing his own story so he might be able to help someone else. You matter. Please continue to believe that. And finally, I certainly hope you're still touching yourself.